Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Mutahi Ngunyi is coming up with a narrative as Raila Odinga heads to the Supreme Court. I want us to look at this narrative keenly because the greatest challenge to Raila Odinga's Supreme Court move is the public goodwill. I mentioned that in my analysis. I think the very first analysis I did after William Ruto was declared president-elect. If you want to know that the public goodwill has been the problem, I want you to check the first 20 comments and kindly just answer this question. Should Raila Odinga challenge Chebukati results in Supreme Court, or he should accept defeat, concede defeat, and move on to retirement? I want to just look at the first 20 comments in this video. And let's try, just give us your honest opinion on whether Raila should go to Supreme Court or rather should concede defeat. Now, many expected Raila to concede defeat for the first time, and that is something that will occasion his early retirement. Because without contesting those results, what that meant is that he will be contented that he lost the election, but the fact that he wants to go to a Supreme Court shows that there's some loose ends that he thinks needs to be tied. My observation has been that Azimio la Umoja is losing the Supreme Court case in the street courts. There is a cohort that are singing a chorus, accept and move on. And this team of accept and move on is a team that was swayed by the Kenya Kwanza team, led by the Moses Kuria, the Karen Nyamu, and the team that have been telling Raila Odinga that if Supreme Court is to nullify the results, he do not stand any chance of defeating Deputy President William Ruto. And I think people seems to be missing the point. The point is not on who is going to win on a rerun if election is nullified. But I also appreciate and I stand with the team that believe that the Supreme Court move is just so to sanitize our electoral process. And if really the playing ground, if there was rigging that was done, that need to be undone. Because in 2022, perhaps it was Raila Odinga. Who knows what will happen in 2027? And you must appreciate this judicial process because we have a budding democracy. So this has been a well-planned and executed plot. And it was strengthened after it was twisted that if Raila goes to Supreme Court and a rerun is called, Mount Kenya will turn up in their numbers to vote for William Ruto because Raila shall have brought disruptions. So that is a narrative. And I kept on asking, so what stopped Mount Kenya from turning up on August 9th that would make them turn up in a rerun? And if so how about Raila Odinga's bases? Don't you think that Raila Odinga's support base would also be rejuvenated to turn up in their numbers and vote for Raila Odinga? Because what that conversation takes is that the election, the rerun will be won on turn up. Even though we agree that you cannot compare Raila Odinga's bases of Western and Nyanza and Mombasa to coast to Mount Kenya because those counties are far from the CBD, but the Mount Kenya bases are around here, so around 300, 500, they are home, they can vote. But Nyanza, there is a bit of that expenditure. So I appreciate that. But again, it was a political narrative. Now, I want you to look at Mutahi Ngunyi's Twitter page. And there are 3 tweets I want to read for you there. I picked those 3 because I am one person that I don't just bump, look one, and draw my conclusions. But I just want to read, I singled out these 3 because you will see some consistency in this. This is 17th. If I was a thug, I will steal little by little from Wajakoya. His bank results did not make sense to me. Is it possible that less than 2 bangi smoking Kenyans voted for him in 46 polling stations? Don't make sense. That was the first tweet. There was another one. Kenya Kwanza, but Haki Kwanza. Kenya Kwanza, but Haki Kwanza. If Ruto won fairly, Kenya will move on. If there was thuggery at IBC, we must correct for the sake of Kenya. Then the best man will win. It is that simple. Uhuru Kenyatta believes in institutions. Then the other one. And if there were crimes committed by Chebukati, then #arrest Chebukati for his criminal liability must be part of the Supreme Court prayers. His math is not mathing, but in the meantime, let the best man win. All is fair in love, war, and politics. So that is Mutahi Ngunyi talking. There is something inconsistent in those 3 tweets. Number one consistent fact that you can see there is that the rigging was done. And he's saying that whether it was Raila's votes reduced or Wajakoya's votes eaten or something, there was a rigging. That's what Mutahi Ngunyi is saying. Number 2, he's actually insisting that we don't have a problem with the winner, a fair winner, but if someone committed election offenses, and that's why there's mention of Chebukati, then someone needs to face the law. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. This is the 4th last video as we finish the 3 days challenge for our sister Sarah Atieno, is suffering acute leukemia in Kenyatta Hospital. I continue to remind us as we finish up, let's contribute as little as 50 shillings. By tomorrow evening, I will do a video to reveal to us the exact amount we've covered and what is the way forward towards this project. This is a project that has been so close to my heart. So I will do a separate video to explain to us what exactly happened. So guys, I also want to say this. You can contribute directly through my number, the 50 shillings challenge, 0710 62 78 89. It will appear Kevin Olo. You can also reach out to Sarah. Her number is 07 16 357 360, Sarah Onyango. Now, I want to say one thing. There was this narrative that it was brought, and that is what Mutahi Ngunyi is actually debunking. If you look at those 3 tweets, what he's debunking is this. Simple. That if Kenya is to go to any sort of a voting, then William Ruto is the automatic winner. Or William Ruto bases will turn up in large numbers and Ruto will outsmart Raila Odinga. Guys, I can tell you that you really get shocked. In case of a Supreme Court throws the spanner back and the people are going back to the ballot, you'll be shocked. Even that UDM that got now with William Ruto might be back to the drawing board. These are things that are there because no one knows. Again, people will start placing their bets. You'll take a stake and start placing your bet. You want to put a double chance, maybe William Ruto side or maybe on Raila Odinga side. You'll have to choose a side that you belong. So that's one thing I want to say. And it was sadly that it has been bought. And actually, it's a fear weapon against Raila Odinga. So this was done, and actually Mutahi Ngunyi is debunking these three issues, because it's debunking this narrative that was brought to demoralize Raila Odinga's bases. This has sadly been achieved by the Kenya Kwanza team. They have successfully told Raila Odinga supporters that don't pray for anything like a rerun. Don't make it possible, because if you go for a rerun, you guys are going to lose. This has been done successfully, and the fear is now with them. And if you check here, even in this channel, look at the comment section, people will tell you, let's move on, let's move on. It's as simple as let's move on. But what the people are not telling you is what exactly is there a need for us to get the legitimate winner. I agree with people who say, I don't want a rerun, but I want the legitimate winner to be declared the president-elect. At least that person is making some sense. Because today it will be Raila, who knows tomorrow. Maybe if you go to Supreme Court and adjustments are made, we will still help grow our electoral integrity. This is something that is very key. But most importantly, if there are members of the commission like Wafula Chebukati who maybe worked in the interest of Kenya Kwanza, then I would be so myopic enough not to see that William Ruto team must be protective of Wafula Chebukati. And they must try in the political campaign trail or in any political communication that they're making now after Chebukati braved to declare William Ruto the president-elect, that they must absolve Chebukati from any blame of having committed election offenses. So, the fear that is being sold of Raila cannot win a rerun, and so someone should not think about nullifying, is number one, I think they don't want Raila to go to court. Simply because they know, even, and I can tell you, in this, even if someone might not nullify an election, but it can pinpoint individuals, it's just to protect the man. Because someone needs immunity. That kind of immunity can only be granted if there is no court process that is going on. Because at the end of the day, I can tell you, if the court will find Wafula Chebukati and any other election official liable, then that will already offer a campaign platform for people to campaign. And people might go back to their vote and actually vote against William Ruto's win. Actually, a vote in Rwanda is against the win. And that is what people say, that legitimate winner perhaps was not given his stake. Guys, I think if there was rigging, what we have seen and what there is a general consensus that any rigging scheme might have been executed in Mount Kenya. There's no problem in Western, there is no problem in Central, and I've always wondered, why Mount Kenya? Why not Rift Valley? But because Rift Valley is also a stronghold, but maybe Rift Valley was not really keen for rigging because the turnout was perhaps convincing. They did not expect that no one is going to turn out, or they expected that you only go to rig where you feel it's manageable. And maybe areas that you seem to be your competitor is also getting something. So when you demystify, the best way to demystify the rigging scheme is by telling the Mount Kenya people that you guys will vote. You guys will vote in your numbers. Someone is saying that Mount Kenya will vote in numbers because they will hate Raila, because Raila shall have taken them back to the ballot and their jobs have stopped. So if there is a rerun, is it only Mount Kenya that their jobs have stopped? see the rest of the country, I think. So you see the way that has been done, it's already creating a ground, because what they expect is there was a turnout in this election. If there is a rerun, Mount Kenya turnout should at least come close to the August 9. It can't go beyond. It will be below, but it will come close to that. So guys, I don't know what to think, because Mutahi Ngunyi's tweet is just trying to preempt and the angle, or rather, these are the narratives that should be dominant. This is the dominant narrative that should actually prevail, instead of a simple narrative that if a rerun is called, another candidate is going to lose. What's your take? That's my bold. Asante sana.